no limitation. I can serve you wherever you at, right? So I am licensed in all 50 states to provide information to help guide you through your financial journey. As a financial broker, I am able to help with life insurance, college planning, retirement, right? Estate planning, burial policies, and final expense. So there is no limit. Wherever you at, I can meet you there. Again, licensed financial broker, I have a 215 license that allows me to help clients in all 50 states and with all things related to finances. If you want to work through your debt, I work with my clients making sure, hello, Windermere Chamber, thank you for logging on. Welcome everyone who are seeing me on TikTok, Facebook, and Roku. It is always a pleasure to be here with you every Monday afternoon to share information as it relates to finances, right? I know it's something that is on the back burner for a lot of people, especially in those uncertain times. But let me remind you, this is the time to hone in, to be more diligent, to be more knowledgeable about your finances, because you do not want to wait until you are in a financial crisis or chaos for you to pay attention. So we need to pay attention to our finances, whether it is good time or bad time, right? Because you matter, your finances matter, and it is your duty, it is your responsibility, right, to be mindful, to be watchful about your finances. Because guess what? No one is going to save you. You are your plan, you are your savior, right? Do not depend on anybody else, right, for your life savings. As a financial broker, I am able to help with budgeting, debt management, debt consolidation, estate planning. All of those things are important. So regardless what state you are in, as long as you are in the US, I can serve you. I can serve you wherever you at. I am licensed to help to work with clients in all 50 states, including Canada and Puerto Rico. So again, thank you for all of those who are watching, for all of those who are logging in, and who will be watching on later. Thank you. Appreciate you guys for your comments, for your likes. I thank you very much. And for those who send in questions, I am always looking for your questions, for your concerns, or the things that matter to you. I want to cover those things, right? So today we're going to be talking about a topic that is very important for us, but a lot of times, right, we wait till last minute. We are not diligent, we're not actively planning for that, and that is retirement, right? Want to talk about retirement. I know everybody waiting for that magic number, right? 65 to say, hey, you retire. But let me tell you guys, retirement is not an age factor. It is when you work because you want to, not because you have to. Is when your assets can take care of your liabilities. That's when you can do retirement. Is when you are in your second phase of your life, and you are still right able to maintain your first phase living expenses or your lifestyle, right? Your first phase lifestyle. If you have to downsize, if you have to move into with your family, with your kids, guess what? There was an issue, there was a gap, and we need to handle it. We need to address it now. So again, thank you. Welcome everyone who are coming in. Would you please like, share, and follow if the information resonates with you? I know those who are on Roku cannot, but I am looking forward to your comments, right? To your concerns. So I want to say hello to my non-English speakings, right? My Haitian. Kote nou ye moun mwen yo, mwen salue nou. moi c'est un plaisir pour moi chaque jour pour moi venir sous station pour moi porter quelques bonnes nouvelles pour nous, toujours porter bonnes nouvelles. Right? So, priez bon Dieu que tout bagaille bien avec nous et moi souhaite que information que moi partager sur show sur TV que nous appliquer parce que si nous prenons information nous pas appliquer c'est comme si c'était nous gaspiller temps nous. So, si nous venons là chaque lundi à 1 heure pour nous tendre, parce que moi connais, il y a des gens qui plein, right, là moi pas là. So, nous besoin tendre information mais faut que nous appliquer. So, jodi a m'a parlé de retraite, right? En pile mon ici, spécialement aux États-Unis, il y a travail, il y a prétendre l'âge 65 ans pour prendre retraite. En pile nous faisons plan pour Haïti. Nous connaissons en pile nous, faut que nous changions plan parce que nous pas à Haïti. Mais ça qui aller hey, allez. Et so, bon dit nous, retraite, malgré l'État ici, dit que vous avez commencé par retraite à 65 ans, et qui c'est là où a commencé prendre social. Mais si vous avez 401k, vous capable de commencer à prendre depuis à 59 ans et demi, right? Il y a bénéfice, il y a déficit, là où prend le bonheur. Mais 65 ans sont l'âge gouvernement bail. C'est l'âge que, parce que les bénéficiaires, eux-mêmes, c'est pas eux-mêmes. So, 65 ans, c'est ou pas obligé de retourner 65 ans. 65 ans, c'est l'âge côté que ou capable prendre, mais retraite, c'est le ou capable dit fond assez ou capable prendre soin de la habilité ou al travail parce que ou voulez al travail parce que au monde qui a 65 ans là avec tout sans lit avec tout diavoine avec tout et nom ni sou li ka continue travail pas vrai so ou capable pour retraite à 65 ans mais c'est si que ou pas souffrir si que ou gars c'est comme cap entrer qui pour te bill ou parce que là un peu le monde pense que là ou prend retraite il y a gain moins de dépenses non ou pas gain moins de dépenses au contraire les contingents plus difficiles pour vous parce que l'on tape travail ou qualité deduction que tax benefit côté qu'on gagne ou capable gagner encore hello le dolphin noir how you doing get tax benefit coupable gain encore so again nous connaissons bagage que nous pas planifier pour lui, faut que nous planifier pour lui. Faut que nous chita avec un monde pour OK, combien comme n'a mettre chaque mois, chaque semaine de côté pour assurer que nous capables prendre retraite. Si c'est sous social, sécurité ou après temps seulement les pas suffit. OK? Les pas suffit pour prendre retraite ou faut qu'on gagne l'autre bagage sous côté pour capable complémenter social que y a ba ou. Okay? So, retirement, right? Again, it is not an age factor of 65. 65 was set, again, that's for Social Security withdrawal. You can start it early at 62, 63. There are some pros and cons for taking early Social Security retirement. Social Security, it is a retirement, it is an annuity type of plan, right? Strategy, which is backed by insurance, right? Life insurance, right? So it's an annuity, right? That is backed by insurance that guarantees you income for the rest of your life. That's what an annuity is, right? So Social Security, the age is set now 65, 70, 72, they keep changing it because when Social Security was first created, our lifespan was barely 55, right? So they put it 65 thinking that no one would ever reach that age. So they would keep all of their money, right, in reserve because they did not expect people to be living past 55. But we've gotten better with science, right? We're eating better with better medicine. We are living longer. So they have to keep extending, right, the retirement age. As we see, they change it all the time. And if you are close to, or if you're in the retirement phase where you are taking distribution, you need to be mindful of RMD. RMD is required minimum distribution. So there are some people, they had pension, Social Security, and they have their 401k or whatever, they have their investment. They're not taking their money right away, but guess what? They want you to pay those taxes. Yes, you do pay taxes on your Social Security. So they want you to pay those taxes. So they force you to take the money so that you can pay those taxes. So if you go beyond 72 or 73, depends on what year you were born, they will force you. IRS will force you to take it, or they will charge you an excess tax, which is capped at 50%. Imagine that whatever your Social Security benefits are, you will get taxed 50% if you are not taking with distribution. Now, why should we worry, right? A lot of people, they want to go into retirement phase, but they're not planning for it. We need to be planning for our retirement. So what are the things that you need to be taken into consideration when planning your retirement? Market volatility, right? As we see, like right now, the market last couple, like early this month, beginning of this month, it went down because what affects? Hi, Albert. How you doing? Would you please like, share, and follow? The market conditions, right? News, war, right? Will affect your retirement. Interest, right? Interest rate. Is your money keeping up with inflation? It is said the inflation is at 3%. It is more, right? But is your money whatever strategy that you are leveraging for retirement, is it keeping up with inflation, right? So again, are you looking at your 401k? When was the last time you checked your 401k? Right? Because that is the strategy, that is the vehicle, right? Most of us are leveraging or hoping or betting on to retire. So if you're working for the government, you may have it, government contractors, you may have TSP, you have a 403B, you 401B, you have 401A. They are all the same. They are tax codes, right, that are in the market. Yes, your 401k is in the market, which is why you see as news erupt, as war erupt, it goes up and down. Depends on what sector your money is, right? Your money is directly in the market. You do not have protection, which is why, right, you need to be mindful. So, retirement, right, in planning, you have three phases of retirement. You have the accumulation phase. That is the sweet spot where, 20s up to 50s, right? I really want to cut it 45 because at that time you want to make some shift, right? That sweet spot, you are working, while you are like vigorous, you can work, putting all those extra time, overtime, anytime, right? They offer it to you, take it. Yes, take that money and store it away, right? Again, the first phase is accumulation, right? Those are your working years. That is where you need to be growing your money. You need to be in a growth mindset, right? At that time, you can tolerate risk, right? With the markets up and down, if it goes down, it's okay. You have time to catch up, right? We see, again, if you're close to retirement, you need to be mindful. If the market shifts, right, what will be the impact? If you are close to 10, 15 years from retirement, you need to be paying attention, right, to the market, to how your 401k is moving, right? We see it's a year that I reference to a lot, 2008, right? Many of you may remember is the real estate reset, real estate crash or real estate bubble. The market sunk 48%. Is it 43 or 48%, right? Imagine that you're getting ready to retire, right? To exit, to start the second phase of your life, right? And you lose 43% of your 401k. Now you have to ask yourself, can you retire? Are you going to retire on less or are you going to work longer? You are forced to work longer. Who wants to work longer than they really need to, right? But a lot of people that were that their situation in 2008. Imagine 43% of your 401k vanish, disappear, right? No one to tell you what happened to it. You can ask where it went, but no one is able to tell you because somebody has it, right? Those who control the stock market. Hi, Albert. Those who control, right, Wall Street. It didn't really vanish. Somebody got it, but you don't have any say in it, right? Again, you trusted, your employer. That's what they sell you, 401k, right? You contribute and you get a match. Now, if you're in your 20s, your 30s, and you are in a company that is giving you a match, by all means, take that match, right? That is somewhat like free money, right? Take that money because you have time to grow, to expand on that money. Miluz Joseph, how you doing? You have time to grow that money, right? Because you have time. Time is on your side. So again, contribution. That's the time for it to be putting as much money as possible because you are young and you are able to sustain the market risk, right? You can tolerate the volatility that comes with the market, right? So you need to maximize that phase because later on it will become very stressful if you are not putting as much as you can in that phase for that strategy, right? So the second phase of retirement, right, is the preservation phase. So now your time horizon is 5 to 10 years, 5 to 15 years, right, from retirement. Now the mindset has to be different, right? You need to position yourself in a way to protect your assets, to protect your income. Because again, we see the market is very cyclical, right? Every 7 to 10 years, it resets, right? So if you are 10 years out and a market crash happens, do you have time to bounce back? Do you have time to recoup what you lose, right? So again, you need to be in that mindset, in that phase where you need to not be so aggressive as you were in your 20s, 30s, 40s, right? You need now to be in a more conservative because you want to preserve what you have, right? So your sequence of return, right, of risk becomes very critical. You cannot afford to lose 30, 40, or 43, 48%, right, of your income, of your assets, of your portfolio, because you do not have the time to make it up, right? If the market, let's say the market drops 20% the year before you retire, you don't just lose value, you lose time because now you don't know how long it will take you to make up that 20%, right? When you sit with your advisors, yes, they will say it will bounce back. We know that, right? We have bear market, we have bull market. Yes, it will bounce back because again, it's cyclical, it is volatile. Anything that goes down must come up. But you have to ask yourself, if you lost 20%, right? If you lose 20% of your 401k or your retirement, your IRA, whatever vehicle that you are leveraging for retirement. Now, ask yourself, yes, the market will bounce back. What should be the percentage, right? What should be the return that the market should give you to even bring you back where you were, right? So let's do this quick example. Let's say I give you $100, right? You have $100, you put it in your 401k strategy, your 401k account. The market shifts and you lose 50% of that $100. 50%. You are left with $50. Okay? You're down 50, but hey, the market bounced back 50%. Now, do you back to 100%? No. If the market shifts back up 50%, you only add $75. The market will shift back, it will bounce back, but it will never bounce back to where you were. So, again, those are the things that you need to be mindful. How close are you from retiring? Can you take the shift of the market if it shifts? If you are in your 20s, your 30s, yes, you have plenty of time to bounce back. But if you are close, if your time horizon is 10 to 15 years, right? And some advisors will say 5 years. You need to position yourself in a place where you have control over, right, your portfolio, that you are not at high risk, you are not affected too much by the market, right? So that is your preservation phase. The first phase is your accumulation phase. That's the time when you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, where you are working, right? You are working overtime, anytime, right? You're just working and accumulating, building your portfolio, your retirement portfolio. And you have time, you have 20, 30 years, right, ahead of you. So again, you have time to ride the wave. When you hit 45 to 50, right, you need to shift, right? Be mindful. First of all, you need to be having a frequent visit with your advisor. So every company, whether it's Fidelity or Prudential, they do have advisors available to you. When was the last time, first of all, that you look at your 401k? Have you done that? So you need to be looking at your 401k every at least 6 months, right? If not every month. You need to be watching it, right? So get with an advisor. What is your time horizon? Are you on track, right, to retire wealthy, to retire comfortable? Some people want to be comfortable, right? But are you putting enough money away so that you can maintain your lifestyle? Ideally, right, in retirement, you don't need to be downsizing. You don't want to be downsizing, because a lot of times that's when we want to take the trips that we've never taken, right? We want to, bless the grandkids. So if you have less money, you cannot do those things, right? So based on your time horizon, how much money do you need to maintain your lifestyle, right? A lot of people say, hey, when I retire, I'm gonna be, making less money or less responsibilities. Not necessarily true. You probably will still have a mortgage that you're paying, a car that you're paying, and you have less deductions, right? If you don't have a car, if you don't have a house that you are paying on. So there is nowhere in the Social Security website, nowhere does it say you're going to be in a lower tax bracket. So that's the myth that people have. Oh, when I retire, I'm going to be in a lower tax bracket. Go on the Social Security website and show me where it says that. Nowhere. So again, very important to understand the phases: accumulation, preservation, right? So, and I see when I sit down with my clients, right? A lot of times they're in their 50s, and of course, they didn't take advantage, right, of companies' contribution, the contribution that the companies was making for them. They didn't take advantage. Some of them say, I didn't know, right? So again, you're starting a new job, you get with your HR, you have access, take advantage of all of the benefits that that are available to you, including the 401k. It is available to you. Hey, even if you're barely doing the 3%, even if you're doing barely the 3%, do the 3%. Do the match, right? Do the minimum required match. Oh my God, I'm sorry. Take the minimum, do the minimum required to get the match, because some companies, um if you don't do the minimum required, you will not get the match. So if it's 3%, do 3%. If it's 4%, do 4%. A lot of us, we get overzealous, so we're doing 10%. Is the benefit of you doing 10%? That money that you could, allocating that into a different strategy, right? You do the match, do the minimum required for you to get the company's benefit. So shift your strategies. You don't have to do 10%. Yes, if you can, you should be paying yourself at least 10%, which is great if you can do that. But look at other strategies that where you can put your money, right? That can give you tax leverage, tax-free account. There are some strategies that you put in post-tax, right? Money, post-tax income, and you get tax-free or tax deferred benefits. And speaking of taxes, so a lot of people, they're putting all of the money in the 401k, and they are deferring paying the taxes. You are delaying paying the taxes. Yes, it is a benefit of the 401k, but understand that you will be paying the taxes. And right now, what is your tax bracket? Do you know what tax is going to be later on? A lot of us think that we're going to be paying less taxes. Ask yourself, are taxes going lower or higher? I think we all can agree that taxes are going higher. So if you are betting, right, on the 401k to retire, good. But take into consideration what will be the tax implication on that 401k that you are deferring paying taxes, right? You will be paying those taxes, and you will have less deductions in your retirement days, right? So to offset those. So again, should you shift? We probably should, right? Do a Roth where you're already paying the taxes, right? And you don't have to pay taxes when you take the money out, right? Again, there are three phases in retirement. You have the accumulation, you have your preservation. That's where you want to be tighten down your assets, your 401k, making sure that you protecting it from market risk, from market loss, right? And making sure that you have enough. Thank you for those who are joining me. Thank you. I'm glad to have you with me. We are talking about retirement. It is something that people don't plan, but we need to be mindful of that, because listen, if you don't plan for it, it's not going to happen. A lot of us, we find ourselves, right, in having to go back to work, working beyond your working years, like 70. It is crazy, like seeing some people in their 80s working. It's like, no, that should be a crime. That's a crime against humanity, right? For someone in their 70s and 80s working, not because they want to, because they have to. Again, because they did not plan properly, right? If you are working and you have a 401k, right, at work, and yes, you are contributing and they are matching, it is still your responsibility to make sure that when the time comes for you to retire, you're going to have enough money. So sit down with the advisor that is provided to you through the company who's managing the 401k, whether it's Prudential, Fidelity, Transamerica, Nationwide. Get with the advisor making sure that you are on track, right, to retire. Know how much money you're going to need to maintain your current lifestyle, right? Retirement doesn't mean that you're going to downgrade your lifestyle. You want to maintain that, right? So make sure that you have enough money, you are putting enough money away, your money is growing and protected, right? Properly, so that when that time does come, that you can retire with ease, with the peace of mind. Because that's what we all want. We want financial security and financial peace of mind. But if we not checking, right, anything that you're not keeping track of, right, you cannot attack it. If you don't know how much money you need to retire, and if the strategies that you're leveraging will get you to that destination, then what's going to happen to you when you get there? We need to be tracking, right, what we have, to be tracking the strategy that you are leveraging. Unless you don't want financial freedom, you don't want financial peace, and you do not want to maintain your current lifestyle. Again, there's nothing that says you have to downgrade when you retire, but that's up to you, right? Hey, don't shoot the messenger. Here to share information with you. For those who do not know me, I am a licensed financial broker. So I work with clients on budget, debt elimination, debt consolidation, retirement strategies, college planning, life insurance. Yes, I said it. Life insurance. And as that life insurance, guess what, guys? Life insurance with living benefits. Life insurance is for the living, not the dead, right? So you have to check your life insurance. Hey, do you have living benefits? Do you have critical, chronic, terminal illness? Do you have something that replaces your income 100% if you should get sick, right? So life insurance can do that for you, right? Life insurance can do that for you, can replace your income in case of sickness, right? So let's go back to retirement. So life insurance, that's for another story, another day, right? So another day, another story for another day. So the third phase, right, is distribution. So in your 20s, 30s, 40s. Hello, thank you for those who are logging into TikTok and Facebook. If you like the information that you are hearing, would you please like, share, and follow? If you are not following me, then I will follow you. So again, three phases of retirement. People just think, hey, let me put my money and I'm gonna retire. No, you have to plan accordingly. And if you don't have a 401k, Social Security will not cut it. Okay. You need to look at alternatives. Okay, how can you fund your own retirement plan? You can set up your own retirement plan. If you are self-employed, if you're a business owner, you are definitely the plan. What are you doing? Right? My business owners, what is the plan? You are the plan. What kind of how you putting money away for a retirement? Or you think you're gonna work till you croak, till you die? No. For those who do not want to work till they die, what do you have in place, right? When you did decide to stop working or work less, how are you saving for your retirement, right? Do you have protection on your money? Is your business protected? Do you have overhead cost protection? Do you have the right insurance plan? Do you have disability plan? Do you have long-term care plan, right? Those are the things that we are responsible for. No one is going to set them for us. We have to put them in place as we are the plan, right? So the third phase is distribution phase. So when you are young, you're putting money away. The second phase, you want to preserve it, right? The third phase is when you're starting getting your money. That's the phase I'm sure we all like, right? We all want, because we want to get that money. right? So that's your distribution phase. So again, is the money that you are going to be receiving, is it going to be enough, right? Retirement is an income problem, not a savings problem. Will you have problem in retirement? Now, it's time, your time to contribute is over. Now it's time for you to withdraw, right? Whatever you had saved. Now, will it be sufficient? Again, that's why it's important to get with an advisor, because guess what? You have three risks that you have to watch out for, right? When you are in that distribution phase. Longevity risk, right? Are you going to outlive your money, or your money going to outlive you? Again, longevity risk is how long will your money stay with you? Or will you outlive the money, or will you run out of money, right? Before you leave this place. Inflation. Is your money keeping up with inflation? We see a rise, right, in cost. So imagine that you were you are in your retirement phase, distribution phase. Now you are depending on your income to survive. And boom, the cost of gas is $4, $5 in some area. Now, how quickly is your money going to run out? Right? Inflation. Again, will your money be able to keep up, yeah, right, with longevity? How long are you going to live? Do you plan to live on 10 years, 20 years, 15 years, 50 years, right? Whatever it is. If your portfolio takes a loss, now, how long is it going to take you? Now, we're seeing that on an average, people are living 20 to 30 years, right? Now, what is it? 80 is the new 60? um, will your money, right, last that long as, you lasting? Now, is the math starting to work against you? Gotta plan for those things. Gotta think about those things, because before you know it, retirement is upon you, right? So again, you have to track. You have to track your retirement plan so that you can attack it. And if there's any holes, right, you can patch them, right? Um, or, if your money run out, what is your plan? Are you going to rely on your kids, or having to go back to work, right? So, because I know you want to live, but how you going to live? How you going to support yourself? Because we nobody wants to die, but we're not planning for the living, right? We are not planning to live a good life while we are still here. So again, you are in your distribution phase, right? um your distribution phase is where you start taking money out. Now, there are three risks that comes with the distribution phase. Longevity. Is your money going to outlast you, or are you going to outlast your money? Inflation. Now, imagine that you are on a set income, on a fixed income. Boom, price of gas is higher. Food is higher. This morning, I bought a small pack of blueberries. I love blueberries. I am on this 3-day reset, juicing and fruits, like $6. That's just 2 meals, right? So if you're on a fixed income, how are you going to shift? What will be the impact, right, of your money when you're on a fixed income and inflation hit? Will your retirement income, right, sustain inflation? Or will you have to go back to work quickly? Healthcare risk, right? Again, yes, at that time, you may have Medicare. Medicare, guys, will not pay for everything, right? Um, I learned this recently when the Power Bees, the Congress, the who's who, was talking about Medicare and Medicaid, right? They saw Medicare as the rich healthcare option. Medicaid was the poor option. But I guess they didn't realize that at some point, right? Medicare does not pay for everything, and you need Medicaid, right? It's not a matter of rich or poor strategy. But when they were designing them, that was their vision and that was their mindset. Medicare pays Part A, right? Your Part A benefits, your hospital benefits. If you fall, you have a hip fracture, you go to the hospital and you need rehab. Okay. Of course, you need to have a 3 day, 3 nights, no, 4 days for it to qualify to go into the skilled nursing. Get your rehab. Guess what? Medicare only pays 100 days of skilled care. Skilled care meaning that you require, right, nursing care, 24-hour nursing care. If you're declining, if you've plateaued your therapy, Medicare will not pay, even though you have 100 days, right, per illness, right? Every 100 days, I think it resets, if I'm not mistaken. Um, so, yes, they give you 100 days, but you have to be meeting skilled care, skilled nursing. Hi, Sandra. How you doing? Would you please like the live, share it? You have 100 days, but it's skilled care. If your care is subpar, if you are not on high drugs, if you're not on IV, if you don't require nursing care, like 24 hours nursing care, Medicare will not pay. Now, let's say that you plateaued, you had a hip fracture, you have the hip replacement, you went in 6 weeks, therapy is not helping, or, some clients, some patients, they go in and they give up, they don't want to do the therapy for whatever reason. Guess what? They cannot keep you on Medicare. And you're not ready to go home. That's when we have to look at the poor, right, strategy per se. But the poor strategy, the Medicaid, it comes with a cost, right? Poor, meaning that you cannot have no more than $2,000 in assets. Yes, no more than $2,000 in assets. Recently, I was at a training with an estate planning attorney who is very involved, right? And I asked him, it's been $2,000 forever. I've been in Florida for 26 years, and 23 years were spent in the long-term care arena, and it was $2,000 back in 1999, and it's like 20 something years or 26 years later, it still hasn't changed. And I asked him, is there anybody lobbying to raise that poverty level for those to qualify for Medicaid? No, it's not their concern. They don't care. You cannot have no more than $2,000 in assets to qualify for Medicare. If you are married, right, it's a bit different, right? You can keep your house. If you are single, you cannot keep your house, right? Again, that's why it's important planning. You can be rich, you can be wealthy and still qualify for Medicaid, but it requires planning, right? You can have money and qualify for Medicaid, but you have to be strategic, right? How you preserve your money to qualify for Medicaid, right? So that's another show, estate planning. So we'll talk about that. So you have to come back, right, to talk about estate planning, how as a wealthy person you still can qualify for Medicaid, right? Again, it's planning. We don't have an income problem. We have a lack of planning. We are not planning properly, right? So, healthcare. If you get sick and thank you. Thank you, Kerwins. Yeah, thank you for the compliment. So you need to like the show. Just tap, 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 right? Tap your screen. So again, we need to position ourselves, right? Healthcare. When you get sick, right? Yes. Thank you. Um, you have Medicare. Medicare will only pay a portion. The hospital, they do not pay 100%, guys. They only pay 80%, right? The doctors that are seeing you, the lab, the phlebotomist that's waking you about 4 o'clock in the morning, right? They're poking you, like the IV, those are ancillary charges. Those are billed separately. So you will have a copay of 20%, right? More or less. How are you going to pay for that 20%? That's going to come out of your retirement money, right? Unless you go to a managed care plan. Again, you have options, right? So, but if you are straight Medicare, Medicare only pays 80% of your Part A services. You need Part B. Part B services are your physicians, right? Your labs, your x rays, right? Those that come from your Social Security. Yes, it's not free. Part A is free to you, but you paid for that while you were working. So somebody may say, okay, how do you qualify for Medicare? It's very simple. If you are here working 10 years, 40 quarters paying taxes, keyword paying taxes. You could be here 50 years, you're working under the table and you don't pay taxes, you will not qualify for Medicare. So, rich age of 65 or disabled, and pay into Social Security, Medicare for 40 quarters, and you'll qualify for Medicare, Medicare A. And it's automatic, it's triggered by the system, right? You've been here, you were born here, you work your 40 quarters. Once you hit that 65, right? Probably a month or two, you probably receive your red, white, and blue card, right? With your Medicare number. So I want to share this with you guys. I don't know, you may have parents who are on Medicare. So Medicare, CMS, right? CMS is the umbrella that governs, Medicare. They were hacked 2 weeks ago. We don't do politics, but it was triggered by the war, right? It was cyber attacked right the first week when we went into war. So I don't remember how many people, how many millions, but probably 10 to 15 million people were affected. Meaning that when you go to the doctors, right, you put your Medicare number, they may say, oh, we don't find you, we don't see you, you don't have benefits. Yes, because of a cyber hack that happened a couple of weeks ago. So they're going to have to reissue Medicare cards to a lot of people. So what we are encouraging our clients to do, don't discard your old Medicare card when you receive it. When you receive your new one, you'll get a new card and an old card. So you need to keep both. Again, many people have a 10 to million, I think probably 15 million people were affected by the cyber hack that happened a couple weeks ago when we went into war with Iran. We ain't blaming them, but it was happened. Another company, Striker, was hacked. Okay, so Medicare was hacked. So a lot of people were wiped out of the system. So when you go to the doctors, they may say you don't have Medicare, but they have to reissue Medicare cards to over 15 million people. Okay. So again, healthcare risk, Medicare. Yes, if you work here 40 quarters, you're going to get your Medicare once you turn 65. It's automatic. You don't have to apply for it unless there are some special circumstance, right? It's automatic. But for your Part B benefits, which covers your doctors, your prescription is Medicare D, you have to apply for that, right? Medicare B, your physician, your doctor's visit is covered by Medicare B. You have to apply for that and you pay for that. It's not free. Again, when you're in retirement, you still have charges, you still have costs. You still have costs that you'll be incurring. For your Medicare B, you have to pay for that. That comes out of your Social Security benefits. So you need to make allocation for those costs, right? Again, because you retired, that doesn't mean that your cost is reduced, right? You have some new costs, prescription, right? You have to pay for doctor's visit. Again, you still have 20% copay that you have to pay. You have to make allocation for those things in your distribution phase. Again, in your distribution phase, that's when you start withdrawing that money, right? You are happy. You don't have to wake up at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning anymore. You can linger in bed and, it's like go for that longer walk, sit on the porch, sipping your pina colada. You can drink at that time because you are on nobody's clock. You are on nobody's clock. Hey, you can have that shot of Bailey's or whatever, right? You start getting your money. But again, you have to be mindful. How far is that money gonna take you? Will you outlive the money or will the money outlive you? That's your longevity risk, inflation risk. Okay. Right now, based on your income, you're on a fixed income. Your monthly gas is $30. It's no longer $30 because of where we at. Average price for a gallon of gas is $4 in Florida. I was talking to a friend in Connecticut, some places $5. Now, that's like more like 30% increase. So you have to be able to shift for that. Again, healthcare. How will you pay for those extra charges, right? When they incur, right? So you're no longer asking, how much can you grow, right? Now you are asking how long will it last? Will your retirement last, right? Again, in today's market, we need to be vigilant. Again, I am encouraging you to check on your retirement plan because, in your early retirement phase, when you are in that preservation phase, right? Small loss can really affect, right? How much you're going to get in your retirement. Your your portfolio can really go down the drain by a 10%, 20% hit, right? So, again, what kind of plan you have in place. So now I've been talking retirement, 401k, 403b, TSP, depends who you're working with, 403b. Now, how about those who are self-employed? What are you leveraging, right? Those you're still gonna have to face all of those things, right? You're still gonna have to face, longevity risk, inflation, and healthcare risk. What are you leveraging to ensure that you are able to maintain your lifestyle? Take that trip that you've been delaying for 50 years, right? You can do solo 401k. You can do the same thing as a business owner, right? You can do that. And the funny thing is, right, the 401k is capped. As a business owner, you can put as much as 50K, right, a year in a solo plan. Roth IRA is limited, right? IRA is limited to $7,200. Guess what? Listen, guys, there are two types of strategies. There are strategies for the informed and strategies for the uninformed. Strategies for the rich and strategies for the poor. Not saying you're poor if you're only leveraging the IRA $7,200. But guess what? The elites, the informed, that's not what they're using. They are leveraging another strategy, right, that allows them to put up to $52,000 in it. So you need to see what you're leveraging. What are you using? If you are self-employed, You can do an annuity, right? I love annuities because of the protection that it offers you. Guess what? Your money has market protection, right? You can go into a variable strategy, right? But your risk is limited. Your market risk is limited. Hey guys, I have not put in any shameless plug for me. Guys, if any of this resonates with you, oh my god, how can I forget to market myself? Wow. Okay, let's do this. Hey, moun ki pa gen retirement plan, ou be ki pa kompren koman retirement plan yo, koman plan retret yo ap mache, DM mwen, ok? Rele stasyon wan, mande pou numero m. Ou ka joun mwen sou Facebook, Daniella Noel. Mwen nan TikTok, Daniella Noel. Ou Instagram, I am Daniella Noel. So, si par exemple, ou pa konen ki sa wap utilize lo ap retret, cheke avèk mwen, map chita avèk ou, map revize so genyen, pa vre, pou mwen ok, so genyen, eske li bon, eske gen lot baga kou kapab fè, gen lot plan kou kapab mette pou komplemente sa ou genyen. Sou pa gen assurance, pa kite se kolet pou yap fè pou ou non, rele mwen pou mka mek chou ke gen assurance, de kwa ke pou ka kite la terre en paix. Keke so koto prale ya, ke se non ciel, ke son lot koto prale pou ale en paix. Pa kite fòm moun nan keas, pa kite fòm moun nan tèt chaje, rele mwen sou bezwen assurance. Ok? Mwen tout jan de assurance. Gwane moun se term, whole life, final expense, sou gen paran ki gwa moun ou ka relem, nan 352-809-9037. Pou tout bezwen assurance. Okay, so shameless plug for me. I am a financial broker. I am a licensed financial broker who helps with retirement planning, college planning, insurance needs, whether you want a term, whole life, IUL, final expense for your parents, right? If you are looking for a way to grow your money, avoid market risk, avoid market market loss, right? Market crash. Some of you guys know you can leverage a life insurance strategy as your bank, right? Yes, I do teach on those things. I do help clients on those strategies. So I am not limited to just retirement. I do retirement, college planning, final expense, estate planning, right? If you need help with your Medicare, if you need help, applying for Social Security, because I have some people, they've been here right on the cusp of the 10 years, they need help applying for those benefits. I can help with those. Again, I can help whatever the state you're in. I am not limited to only Florida. I can be working with you wherever you are in all 50 states, including Puerto Rico and Canada. So please, if you do not have protection, if today were your last day and you do not know how your family going to bury you, you need to reach out to me. There's no way we should leave you, right? Empty, naked. You need to have proper coverage so that your family will have peace of mind. As we wind down this hour, so I've been on for an hour. So I really hope that the information was valuable to you. I hope that you did find it informative. And please do share with others, right? Do not keep it, do not gatekeep. If you learned something today, go teach somebody else. Go share it with somebody else. If you cannot do it as well as I did, hey, refer them to me, right? Because I do give a gift for referring clients to me. Actually, the month of April is Financial Literacy Month. I am looking to work to help 30 clients in the month of April. So you can start referring them to me now, right? Refer your family to me now. If you don't have insurance, I would love to work with you. If you don't have estate planning, I would love to be your agent, right? Because I do come on here, share information for free in hopes that you guys will learn, will implement. Now, if you come here and you guys don't implement the things that I'm teaching, guess what? It's a waste. So go teach somebody else and go apply what you're learning. Your three phases, of retirement: contribution, preservation, and distribution. They don't play the same role. They play different role in your phases of retirement. So again, what phase are you on? Are you prepared for the next phase? Are you in your 20s or 30s? Yes, you are working, you are, putting that money away, but there's a time that you need to put protection around your money, that you need to be in a position to mitigate, to limit your risk in the market. Do not leave all of your portfolio open to the market, because if something happens, do you have time to catch up? Do you have time? And if you're in your 50s, you really need to tighten that. You cannot be open to market loss, the market volatility. You have option. You can switch, right? Again, know what you have, know your terms and condition when it comes to retirement. How prepared are you? When was the last time you reviewed your 401k? When was the last time you sat down with an advisor to review it, to make sure that you have enough to retire safely, right? To retire securely, to retire with peace of mind, right? So again, it's been an hour. I thank you so much for your time. And I look forward to talking to you again next week, right? As I come on and bring more information. Don't know what the topic is. So I welcome, your requests. So whatever it is that you want to hear, you want to learn more about, let me know about it. And then if I don't know it, I will bring somebody on, right? So that we can educate you, can help you prepare for the ifs in life, right? We want you to live a prosperous life, including your money, right? So be well. I see you again next week. Thank you. So we are done for the day.